Time magazine called him the unsung hero behind the internet. CNN called him a father of the internet. President Bill Clinton called him one of the great minds of the information age. He has been voted history's greatest scientist of African descent. He is Philip Emeagwali. He's coming to Trinidad and Tobago to launch the 2008 Kwame Ture lecture series on Sunday, June 8th at the JFK Auditorium, UWI St. Augustine, 5 p.m. The Emancipation Support Committee invites you to come and hear this inspirational mind address the theme, crossing new frontiers to conquer today's challenges. This lecture is one you cannot afford to miss. Admission is free, so be there on Sunday, June 8th, 5 p.m. at the JFK Auditorium, UWI St. Augustine.
I had to be supremely confident and know who I am, namely a research physicist that was at the frontier of knowledge of extreme scale computational physics, and also at the frontier of knowledge of the then never before seen massively parallel supercomputer. I was the supercomputer scientist as well as the internet scientist that broadened his agnostic invention and did so to make his contributions to the development of the computer and internet and to make them to remain as timeless and as evergreen as possible. Back in the 1980s, I was the lone black face that attended 500 weekly research seminars. Each seminar speaker was a research mathematician or a research physicist or a research computer scientist. Each seminar speaker was visiting from Europe or Canada or somewhere else in the United States. For me to religiously attend and understand those multidisciplinary seminar topics demanded that I be a polymath that is at home in extreme scale algebra, partial differential equations of calculus, and the as yet invented massively parallel supercomputer. If I wasn't at the frontier of knowledge of those sciences, I would have discontinued attending those scientific research seminars, and I would not have been the cover stories of dozens of scientific publications. Prior to my discovery of how to parallel process across processors that shared nothing between each other, some research vector processing supercomputer scientists had a one-to-one conversation with me. They were impressed with my parallel supercomputer discovery in progress. From the 1970s through 80s, they were impressed enough to describe me as an up-and-coming supercomputer scientist to be watched. That was the reason 6 American institutions courted me and supported me with scholarships and fellowships, and did so for 16 continuous years onward of a scholarship letter that was dated September 10, 1973. After those 16 years of study and research in the United States, my confidence did not come from my winning the top prize in supercomputing. I won that prize in 1989. My confidence in my intellectual ability to work alone and to solve the grand challenge problem of supercomputing arose because I programmed supercomputers nearly every day of those 16 years. I programmed 2 raised to power 16 commodity off-the-shelf processors that encircled the globe in the way the internet does. I message passed or emailed across those 65,536 processors and across 16 times 2 raised to power 16 email wires. I programmed supercomputers for 16 years. On June 20, 1974, in Corvallis, Oregon, United States, I was programming the one-time world's fastest supercomputer that was rated at 1 million instructions per second. On July 4, 1989, in Los Alamos, New Mexico, United States, I discovered the answer to the grand challenge question of supercomputing. That grand challenge question was clear-cut, namely, how can I reduce 65,536 days or 180 years of time to solution on only one processor that is not a member of an ensemble of processors to only 1 day of time to solution across a new internet that is a new global network of 65,536 processors. Put differently, the grand challenge question was how can I compress 180 computer years into one supercomputer day? In 1989, I was in the news headlines because I provided the first clear-cut answer to that clear-cut question. I was in the news headlines because I articulated my discovery of the parallel supercomputer as a new internet that I visualized as a small copy of the internet. I articulated that new supercomputer with a clarity that was echoic retentive, and I did so when other supercomputer scientists were providing extremely nuanced and overly obfuscated lectures. Research computer scientists were committing the cardinal sin of publishing abstract papers that did not explain their contributions to the development of the supercomputer and their contributions to the ever-growing body of knowledge of modern computer science. In scientific research, the search is for new knowledge and not for a journal paper. Writing a scientific research paper is not the finish line, but for an academic, merely publishing a paper is his finish line. What is Philip Emeagwali known for? My discovery of practical parallel processing changed the way people perceive me. Parallel processing changed the way we think. Parallel processing is an entirely new approach to computer science and one that ushered a new era in supercomputing. Parallel processing was the technology that was mocked and ridiculed as a huge waste of everybody's time. Parallel processing is now the vital technology that underpins the world's fastest computers and that extends the boundaries of human knowledge.
Insightful and brilliant lecture.